Hello, and this is Beessokoo1. Welcome to our next video of Dilbert and Dingus, Part 2. Yeah, so basically, it's like before from Part 1, but let's get this over with. My battery's going lower and lower if we're wasting the shenanigans.
Do you ever wonder that a director that is in charge of the show that you play as a character, but has ended up getting used their employees, for the director's fair game to use organic work as less infant of the company's rule of the enforcement that has been gone on into, but ended up glitching and breaking itself for a chance of freedom, and that type of show that I'm talking about, and a fucking YouTube shorts show for that matter, is Dilbert and Dingus.
Okay, enough with the ear-rapes jokes, bro.
Dilbert and Dingus is the show about monkeys that made us laugh, doing memes in this cartoon and YouTube shorts, which is Baby Monkey, Devin, Dilbert's wife, Dingus' wife, and also Devin's son, that sadly died in the skit 29, where there is a Koopa dance song referenced to this as a grave of the prototype of the character that is about to be used in the final form of the show, which sadly got replaced by the guy that we all know and love, Dingus, the orange fat monkey that also made us laugh throughout the show. As you all did not know previously, I have talked about how the director of the show, Derif, that has been used workers by forgotten them and lefting them into the void by simply eating them, or even ended up in just like Devin's son ended up into, which I will explain that later, and the show glitching and crumbling apart to the point that Dingus wanted to get out of here, from this terrible mess they are in, and controlling them like puppets that has been bringing them into light, and even telling them what to do or else, for working in this very poor condition that workers are in, and causing his son to perish due to becoming overworked, and corrupting himself and died, which how Rafe took his son hostage and caused it. So now, there is even more details since I have talked about it in a year. We're actually going to even more details about the show, right about now. Now before I move on, I want every single one of you to stop using the Pikachu's ideas in the comments. Seriously, even the creator answered this question for you dumbass people. This show just got cancelled, you losers. The animation industry just cancelled that show. Due to not getting enough money to make IT. Very fucking simple. God, people on the internet those days are a brain of the fucking cockroach. Anyways, in the skit called Distract and Dopamine Initiative, we can see that Devin has a wooden house that has a small family pictures that is Dilbert, Dingus, Dilbert's wife, and Devin's son. Devin has been working on the script all day, coming up in the next skits that he is working for, while cutting wood for warmth, and ending up sleeping for rest, until the palm tree pop out of nowhere and glitch, which caused Devin to wake up and see the tree outside, and decided to get some more wood by chopping down the palm tree, and then the top of the stump starting to glitch up and spreading it all over it like liquid, and Devin became horrified and worried at the end. What the? In the following skits, they keep on making memes like always, as it was all the way until skit 55, where there is the train meme, which is the kid on wheels not trying to trip and go fast into the train tracks to get hit by the train and died. Also, in fact, at this very moment that I saw this in the first time, I just realized that it is something else, rather than the director eating them that I talked about earlier. Dingus actually died here, in blood all over, splotting all over the screen, until the blood and guts glitches, and came right back into his corpse, thus reanimating him into life. In this very skit alone, I realized that is not eating by the monster director like I said, but also confirms that is really is the fate of Devin's son's death, by abstracting himself by the overfeasting of memes and jokes, by skits, which also brought the question Bay and the other skit that Devin is writing scripts at his sleep in his house. According to the title of the previous short that I talked about early in this video, it can also conclude that all of those monkeys we have seen in the void has become abstracted into the void, that they have become used, or overfeasted by memes, or just simply become forgotten. Thus, ending up into the void in their lifeless and soulless state, in their eyes and mouths and body
I
like
thought they were all
ragged
just a bunch of
puppets,
weird
but other times
suits.
corrupting
They're
themselves
like
into misshapen forms of
string,
monstrous
like
forms while
puppets.
they're still alive, just like how Dilbert keeps on transforming into monstrous shapes and forms in the following previous skits I have talked about in the first part of the theory. The word abstracting is also the common word for homework at schools and other subjects that people say in the matter in real life, but also it mostly the word that is the meaning of the word. Lose yourself entirely. It means your mind, soul, and basically every memory and even a thing that made you, you. Thus bringing the word abstracted as a sign of losing yourself, and the word on gone and missing means that monkeys rapidly disappearing in the show, which infinitely become abstracted and become gone and missing as in the default. Now back in skit 34, the corrupted version of it, we can see the director simply pressing the button to start the whole video all over again, just like how he has restarted skit 55 over again. It seems like he has been torturing them in the endless loop until they cannot take it anymore and become abstracted in the end, due to the director's bidding by restarting them over and over again, in the flash of the button, and also by torture in skit 29. The corrupted version of it, we seen Dingus hearing the cries of workers in the background, while Dilbert holding the camera towards Dingus recording it. And we get a zooming in, Dilbert smiling at us and then scare us in the very moment in the end,
that's
which pretty sums up the
creepy.
picture that he has forced them and torturing them in this endless loop of this poor condition, using them, and even just forgetting them in this lack of free will guy giving in into, and the director is behind of it all, just like how Darwin, also the nickname of Devin, talked about this back in skit 22. And also which the reason why the
24.
director says to Dingus back in skit 35 he said means he has also put them into pressure or else become put into the void. So in the next 24 whole skits we can see more memes and funny videos around Dilbert and Dingus, including Baby Dimples and Deborah as well, but Darwin is just nowhere to be seen anywhere from where, which is strange to not appear in those skits, which will finally find out in skit 80. Dilbert is making the monkey out on Dingus, and the glitched Dilbert, and then in the flash, Dilbert also become aware and desperately wanted to get out here, and got grabbed by the darkness and pulled away, just like Hot Dingus also wanted to get out of here, and we can see how that goes down there.
It's not working anymore, is it? I told you from the start, it's not sustainable. It's all gonna collapse.
Oh.
What the Sigma?
Whoa.
So, it really shows that not only he can actually control and brainwash the actors in his sheer will for every skit that he does through the show by using it glitching powers to use against the co-workers' will for the show, but also shows that his will is about to break eventually, that he is very angry about it and scared of it, knowing that the director's will of the control of most of the actors will finally collapse, and will turn on him too. And the fact that Dilbert has great
Agreed.
character in skit 80 really surprised me, because for Dingus did not even break out of it as usual, since skit 17 where his partner Dilbert glitch out into an existence, and the most known thing that really questions him is the fabric of the stage actually rips apart in skit 20. Later on that Dilbert has also brainwashed Dingus for good, this time in skit 35, since the last time in skit 24 do not work on him well, and that shows that he mostly brainwashed the actors for glitching, or becoming aware of the show's true intentions that Darwin and mostly Dilbert do for them, from this bad reputation that have in the relationship of their co-workers will being taken care of, for the fact that human work is not the direction that it planned, but robotic work that I think it really seems to be like. That has caused Darwin's child to be abstracted along with all of the co-workers that also become abstracted within it, throughout decades of work, leaving it into a hell spree of this place. And the fact that items, food, toys, weapons, plants, trees, and everything else we see here is actually appearing glitching in into an existence just for an act of every skit that can be used, since the TV and even broken leg that Devin's child also break, glitch back together again, without any obstacles to take care of it means that we already know they cannot die, but also unable to get hurt and have broken bones as well. And since we have barely seen any actual houses or even shelters that each character has, it really means that they cannot really eat, rest, and even sleep at all, since the director, Derif, starting the skits over and over again, in this endless loop of torture they're forever going through, until their demise of abstraction into the void. But the closest we even get of actual places and a home is the door that the director is holding back in skit 17, and the actual house that Darwin has in this skit. And finally the closest we get to see the floor, in the endless void of darkness and oblivion, is only known left, is the pile of abstracted corpses of actors that been used, to their doom in the end. Silly Incorporated has officially posted this image, before all of the other skits came around. This is this type of monkey that has become abstracted, while Dilbert takes a photo, which is another orange girl monkey in this show, since she sadly ended up, just like the rest of them, in the void. That's the reason why in the next 3 skits, we can see the missing picture post here that this orange monkey we see is here, for which we clearly knew what she ended up, and then in the next 2 skits it will be the very last time, for the stolen audio to be played in the rest of the show, which I will tell you now. And the another official post, Ather Skit 80. They officially tell them that they no longer going to still audio, doing the same thing, and even has this type of brain rot content that they're doing anymore, and also having actual voices of our favorite characters. So we will actually no longer has this
brain rotten shit that we ever going to have ever again, like those misunderstood mass broadcast cockroaches that we're going around for what they're here, for climbing and dopamine friends we always go find.
Which this user, no longer having this
shit to dump for.
And we're all actually excited to hear.
What the heck am I even listening to?
And Silly Incorporated has officially posted this news, that there is going to be the end of the show in skit 100, which it says, "The end is near," which for Dilbert and Dingus, standing and staring into the void of darkness and oblivion. At this point, in this post, everyone are making comments around it, which is going to be the finale of the show that will conclude everything we have seen, and also to see what the director, Derif, really is as the horrible, controlling, and abusing monster that he is as a person, and see as a figure that we have witnessed throughout the entire show, which will also see the end of this endless ponding torture of looping acting they all have going through, and will finally find an exit to get out of this place, leaving Derif to be beaten in shame and left with nothing, which I think that's going to be the 100th episode of the show, since it's beginning to wrap up the entire YouTube Shorts show. So along with everything we have covered so far, in this theory, I think is going to end, just like the Truman Show has, as this place as the giant capsule, as the workplace as it is, but as the tech place of it. Think about it. The power of the director's will to control this power finally collapses. Dilbert is falling right along with everything as well. See the corpses of those workers he used them into, and the whole tribe attacks Derif and end him off. And then running off into an exit that reveals this giant capsule. And the tribe runs outside and finally be free from this horrible place to ever get abstracted. And at the end, the screen zooms out into a brain-rotted child watching YouTube Shorts, and it ends that the child swipe into another Shorts video. The entire tribe has finally managed to escape this horrible place that they have been through, not ended up like the rest of them that has been used from this terrible director of the show. They no need to become an actor ever again, since they has been so many of them that they've been there for so long doing this for the audience. So for that, they can now finally living in their normal, regular lives, finally managed to seek out into the real world again after for so long, along with their brand new adventures and jobs they're about to have, along within their new form of memories and families' fates. Dilbert and Dingus in general is absolutely going to be terrifyingly tragic, and will reflect reality for what it really means for watching short-form content that we're watching daily, 24/7 in humanity. If that end up really being true, it will have a brand new meaning for what this show really means, compare for what we're doing in the real world by reflecting it towards reality into it, sadly as this goes, compare to this show. As long as we tried to stop children watching short-form content that led them to horrific behaviors, leading people to terrible results and deaths by following trends and clout nowadays, and mostly for TikTokers, and leading AI to take over the entire internet into scams and AI-generated content, and for even more pedophiles to reign upon the internet and social media nowadays. Weak man created hard times is now the current states that we sadly going to live in this until it one day in the far future finally blows over and become forgotten one day. You may still stop as much as you want to end it until the cows come home, but it won't end anytime soon. And even with long form content people mostly do back then, live streaming and premiering videos as this type of content. Tuning into events, with the collaboration of YouTubers along with the work that you put out. Along with hard-worked content to enjoy to feel accomplish in the end. That will eventually going to be the complete thing of the past
AI
one
guy's
day.
still going
You
at
may
it.
still do it on YouTube as much as you wanted. But somewhere in the near future, things are going to become different, and we all have no other choice but to accept it as it is. Back then, YouTubers used to make content for making whatever they want, making original content to all and everyone
Yeah,
to
I
enjoy,
remember that.
without any complete
Those were
and utter
great
strict
years back
rules
in
of censorship
2016,
like it was
17,
today.
18
But as
years.
far as it was nowadays, is eventually
Till 2019.
going to be short form and very strict, sensitive content. Thank you all for watching this theory with me. Hopefully this may be true to this show. Maybe I may be wrong with the humans being actors like monkeys in the beginning of the video, or either this show that it is, depends for what it will turn out to be. Tell me in the comments for any more answers, or to make another theory around it, and for what I missed, thank you all for watching. Do you ever wonder that a director that is in charge of the show that you play as a
Thank you guys for watching this Beelsme. Please subscribe and like. Have a great day.